Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Archana Solanki. Here are the headlines we're tracking this evening. Tensions flare along the line of control overnight. The Indian Army says it has effectively repulsed multiple drone attacks by the Pakistan Army, which targeted military stations at Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur. 45 Pakistani drones taken down at various places between Ladakh and Bhuj. Heavy shelling is reported in several J&K districts. The BSF says it has foiled a major infiltration bid, killing at least 7 Pakistani terrorists. Top ministers chair key meetings to review preparedness as tensions between India and Pakistan escalate. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh meets the 3 service chiefs at South Block. Home Minister meets the BSF and the CISF top brass. Health Minister JP Nadda reviews health infrastructure preparedness across hospitals. Government directs airlines and airports to enhance security measures. Passengers may have to face longer waiting time at airport entrances for verification, increased screenings, among others, over the next 10 days. Airlines advise passengers to report at the airport at least 3 hours before the flight departure. Market snaps a 3-week gaining streak amid an escalation in India-Pakistan tensions. Sensex Nifty and the mid-cap index fall 1% each. Nifty Bank slips 3%. 39 Nifty stocks give negative returns this week. SBI to sell a 13% stake in Yes Bank to Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation for close to 8,900 crore rupees. The deal will leave SBI 11% in Yes Bank. Investor money into equity mutual funds drops for the 4th month in a row in April, accentuated by a feeble new fund offer pipeline. But debt funds see a surge in interest and a 2-month outflow streak comes to an end. Hybrid funds are also in vogue, clocking the highest inflows in the last 5 months. The Indian Premier League IPL has been suspended for a week as tensions between India and Pakistan escalate. The match between Punjab and Delhi that was being played in Dharamshala last night was stopped midway into the first innings. China's exports to the US plunged 21% as President Trump's tariffs bite, but China's total exports in April rise 8%, with EU, ASEAN, Latin America and Africa offsetting the decline in shipments to the US. Telecom regulator recommends allocating spectrum for satellite communication providers like Starlink, Jio and OneWeb for a period of 5 years. Proposes to levy 4% of their adjusted gross revenue as spectrum charges. Elon Musk's social media platform X blocks over 8,000 accounts in India after receiving executive orders from the government. Says the accounts include international news organizations and prominent users. Adds that while it disagrees with the order, it has complied so as to remain accessible in India. Pope Leo calls for a united church as he holds his first Mass at the Sistine Chapel. He is the first North American Pope and the first pontiff to take the name Leo in 122 years. The escalating tensions between India and Pakistan is our top focus this evening. The Indian Army has said that it thwarted multiple drone attacks by the Pakistani Army overnight, which were targeted at military stations at Jammu, Pathankot and Udhampur. The Army said that Pakistan also resorted to numerous ceasefire violations along the line of control in J&K. At least 45 drones were taken down by the Indian air defence systems at various places between Ladakh and Bhuj. As per the Army, drone attacks were effectively repulsed and a befitting reply was given. Sources in the Border Security Force said that they foiled a major infiltration bid in Jammu and Kashmir's Samba and killed at least 7 Pakistani terrorists. The Pakistan post of Dhandar also suffered extensive damage. Heavy shelling was reported in several districts of Jammu and Kashmir. The unprovoked firing by Pakistan left a trail of destruction in the border towns, with several houses and cars being destroyed in the border towns. Let's keep in mind that the government has urged all media channels, digital platforms and individuals like you and me to refrain from real-time reporting of defence operations and movement of security forces. My colleague Ishan Vani has sent us this report from Uri.
This is what remains of a shop which was on Uri Road, and this is the trail of destruction that it has left and brought with itself. Pakistan fired multiple shells at different locations, and some of them have landed in the civilian population, resulting in damage like this. The complete shop has been destroyed. You will still notice here there are shampoo pouches and soap also lying around, which the person used to sell here. And most of the stuff is not recognizable because of the impact that it has had on this particular shop. And you will also notice the shop adjacent to it has also suffered heavily because of the shelling by Pakistan. This is a safe where money is kept, and this is completely bent because of the impact that it has had, and rest of the part is unknown where it went. There's destruction that's lying all around the place, and what we have been told is that the shelling took place at night after 9 o'clock, and then it got a little intense, and it has been intense during the night time, which is resulting in a lot of panic among residents.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met the three service chiefs at South Block. The Government of India has empowered the Chief of the Army Staff to call every person enrolled in the Territorial Army or TA to provide critical support for national security. Home Minister Amit Shah met the top brass of the BSF and the CISF to review the situation and airport security arrangements. Health Minister JP Nadda reviewed the health infrastructure preparedness across hospitals. My colleague Parikshit Luthra, who's been tracking each and every development of this big story that we are tracking, is joining us right now with more on the key defence infra being deployed in the ongoing India-Pakistan conflict. Over to you, Parikshit.
Well, let's look at India's air defence shield, which came to our rescue and neutralised Pakistani drones and missiles. Let's look at the Barak missile first. This is a surface-to-air missile system developed jointly by Israel and India. It has a range of 150 kilometers. The Barak 8 can engage multiple targets simultaneously. The speed is Mach 2 or 600 meters per second. You also have the Akash, which is an India-made medium-range movable surface-to-air missile. It has a range of 25 kilometers and can simultaneously engage multiple targets in group mode or autonomous mode. The speed is Mach 2.5 or more than 850 meters per second. Then you have the Russian origin S-125 Pechora surface-to-air missile that can engage drones, fighters and helicopters. The range is 30 kilometers and has a speed of Mach 3.5 or 1.2 kilometers per second. You also have the indigenously made Samar platforms or surface-to-air missile for assured retaliation against low-flying targets. The range is 30 kilometers and the speed is over 850 meters per second. You've got the L-70 anti-aircraft guns, originally made by Sweden's Bofors, and this is used against radar-dodging drones, and this has a range of up to 4 kilometers, can fire 330 rounds per minute. You also have the Shilka system, which is of Russian origin. It has a range of over 20 kilometers, can fire 4,000 rounds per minute. It's lethal against small drones and helicopters. You've got the formidable S-400 air defense system acquired from Russia. It has a range of 4,400 kilometers to 600 kilometers and a speed of 4.8 kilometers per second. It can engage multiple targets simultaneously. Lastly, we have counter unmanned aerial systems, which have DRDO-developed counter-drone systems with hard kill capabilities and can jam, disrupt and disable drone communication as well. To take the India-Pakistan situation forward, we are now joined by General Bikram Singh, former Chief of the Army Staff. General Singh, thank you very much for joining us, waiting patiently. Let me begin by asking you, now there are reports coming in that Pakistan may have fired close to 400 or 500 drones at India last night. What do you think was Pakistan's intention in doing so?
Look, the intent is very clear. After we took on the 9 terrorist hubs in Pakistan of the terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed and of Lashkar-e-Taiba, this was expected. So in keeping with the statement of the Chief of the Army of Pakistan, they have launched this counter-offensive, I would say, and try to neutralize some of our installations, military installations, some of the civil areas of ours. This is what has happened in the last few hours. But then, of course, our response has been very robust. We have taken down 45 drones, as you just brought out. And I think we have given them a bloody nose, which was required.
Right. I would like to ask you about the role of General Asim Munir in these operations. What do you think his larger game plan is? it is being said that his speech made earlier in the month of April, when he said that Kashmir is and will be Pakistan's jugular, is linked to the Pahalgam attack. What do you think are General Munir's intentions right now?
I think we've gone beyond the situation. The questions you're asking are very elementary, because I think we've gone beyond a stage where he's shown his intent. It's very clear. It's a response. It's a riposte to what we had done at the 9 terrorist locations, having neutralized them. So he's come about. His aim is very clear, intent. But let me tell you, since you've asked me this question, perhaps there must be a lot of things which are bothering him at this point of time. One is his stature, his locus standi in the environment in Pakistan. That was suffering. He's not a very popular journal. People do not like him. The civilians do not like him. The masses do not like him. So this is one way to perhaps get into the good books of the population, rally the people around him for what he's doing. And I think that is one of the reasons he's done this. The other is he has been emboldened, certainly, ostensibly by the support that he's getting from Turkey and from China, because knowing very well that they have the war endurance only for 4 days. And the way he's going about it, it looks he's going to prolong it further. That means the war endurance has been actually bolstered by China and by Turkey. And that is something perhaps of concern to us. We got to wait and watch and also monitor what kind of help is coming in. But certainly the terrorists who were caught, who were killed, I beg your pardon, the satellite equipment which was used by the terrorists at Pahalgam, they alluded to Chinese equipment being used by them in the satellite communications. So assistance is coming in from the allies, from the partners of Pakistan, but we got to wait and watch and see how things go. But otherwise, definitely, the chief of the Pakistan Army is at the moment more interested in, I would say, restoring his image in the environment, which has suffered over the years. And this is one of the, initiatives that he's taken.
Right. We saw an important notification, General Singh, from the government of India. That was to empower the Chief of Army Staff to call in the Territorial Army. It said that there are 32 infantry battalions in the Territorial Army, and there will be an embodiment of 14 of them. What does this imply, and when was the last time this was done, sir?
Look, the embodiment of the TA battalion goes on from time to time. Like, for example, a number of times we have done it for J&K. These battalions are actually requisitioned. They have a nucleus of the regular officers, JCOs and men. And we have the civilians coming in who come and take on their responsibilities and their duties. Essentially, TA battalions in this kind of a situation are used for the logistic echelons to ensure the lines of communications are secured, through which the logistic echelons have got to pass, through which the combat echelons have got to be staged forward. The security of the lines of communication takes place, and also the security of various vulnerable areas and vulnerable points. And when I say vulnerable areas, these are the airfields. Anything which is beyond the diameter of 400 meters in diameter becomes vulnerable area. Smaller installations are vulnerable points. I mean, this is a military jargon, the military parlance that we use. So these vulnerable areas are guarded by TA battalions, and that's the reason they've been requisitioned, and they will continue to be there. And we've been doing this in the past. It's been happening for J&K, for the Northeast. We've been requisitioning these from time to time.
Right. So you said in your opening remarks that we've given Pakistan a bloody nose, and General Munir is now desperate to defend himself. At this stage, when you're wounded, what will it take Pakistan to stop? We have made it very clear that we're not the people escalating here. The original escalation was in Pahalgam. But the response of Pakistan is not in our control. At what stage do you think Pakistan will stop and come to the talking table to bring things down?
You see, there are various factors to be considered in this. One, of course, is the internal pressure on him, coming from the population, coming from his own military. Let me tell you, their morale is down. The entire military is not with him, because the people didn't want to get into this kind of an affair. But he's done it for his ulterior personal motives. That is one. Number two, we got to have our diplomatic initiatives ensuring that no further support comes in from China and from Turkey to Pakistan. That's important. And I think we got to be cautious of the fact that this should not become a market. This arena should not become a market for the weapon manufacturing countries of the world. That's my worry. Like Afghanistan was there, and At the moment, you find Ukraine is another arena, West Asia is an arena where countries want this kind of thing to go on, and especially countries that are weapon manufacturing, ammunition manufacturing countries, because there's a market for them. We got to watch against that, and because what is of concern is the statement given out by the Vice President of the United States. I mean, granting him the fact that he's an ex-Marine Corps officer, though he was a journalist in the Marine Corps. But then, of course, I can understand, the soldiers are supposed to speak, like a soldier, devoid of the requisite diplomacy. So what he said that he had nothing to do with this area, I think that is something we've got to take into account, because pressures have got to be mounted if Pakistan has to be brought onto the line. But before that, we've got to keep on hammering Pakistan and not wait, not think that the thing should stop. Our endeavor should be to go till the end and hammer them hard. That should be our aim.
Right. Right.
Let them get on
do you
to their
also
knees.
feel that perhaps
Let them
this...
get on to their knees. That is what we should ensure.
That's an important point, sir.
Yeah.
Do you feel now this is the right time for India to make sure we eliminate the ability of Pakistan to perpetrate terrorism against us? And do you feel that the fact that China and Turkey are supporting Pakistan right now, in fact, some of the drones that were used last night were of Turkish origin. There are Chinese radars there which have been attacked and damaged as well. Do you think the support to Pakistan is worrying for us as well? And what the Vice President said yesterday, that is a bit concerning, because going to the extent of saying that what's going on between you two is none of my business.
Exactly. No, you're right. You see, firstly, your first point regarding, time to sort of eliminate Pakistan's capability of waging, proxy war against us. Well, I think it's a very, very difficult thing that you asked for, because, terrorists are an asymmetric enemy. They merge with the locals. They blur the distinction between combatant and non-combatants. They blur the distinction between strategic and tactical arena. They blur the distinction between front and the rear. Terrorists are everywhere, if you ask me frankly. We got hold of some people the other day in various states, in Punjab, for example, Amritsar and all that. The agents, the fifth columnists of the terrorists and of Pakistan Army moving around. So this is, I would say, an invisible kind of a force which takes on its adversaries. It is a weapon of the weak. Militaries that are conventionally weak, which cannot fight a conventional war, resort to this kind of warfare. And this has been the strategic asset for Pakistan's army right throughout. You've seen from Musharraf's statements and coming on to now the present chief. They have talked about it. So this strategic asset, you must have seen, the last fights being held of the terrorists. The military hierarchy was over there. I mean, it's never heard of, never seen. The national flag was over the coffin of one of the terrorists. I mean, this kind of a thing, if it goes on, this shows the kind of the importance the terrorists have for the Pakistani army. So if that be so, it becomes a critical, I would say, element in the combat part of Pakistan army. It is the center of gravity, if you ask me frankly, in the operations. And I think we got to be very, very careful of this, because if you see, whether it was Iraq war, if you see Ukraine war and Russian war at the moment, the asymmetric angle when it comes into the conventional war fighting, the warfare gets prolonged. This is something we have to guard against. But if you ask me frankly, I've been a corps commander. I've done 5 tenures in Jammu and Kashmir. It is well nigh impossible all over the world, by all armies of the world, to put an end to terrorism. It has to come from within the people of that country, because it is the local support. It is the support by the Pakistani military, which is giving them wings and giving them the power and the strength to maneuver and take on the Indian army. So it has to start from there. Yes, we can continue to hammer them, continue to neutralize them, which will carry on. But stopping this, the epicenter, putting an end to this epicenter, I think plugging it for good requires international intervention support. You look at what United States did. I mean, they ran away, they got away from Afghanistan. You see, they had gone there to put an end to global war on terrorism. And so there has got to be an international will in this case. India alone cannot do it. We require international will to support India in this endeavor.
Right. General Singh, my final question to you would be, today we are proud of our soldiers who have done a tremendous job of securing us. We're sitting in studios over here. It's very easy for journalists to talk, but they are the ones who are actually fighting. And we've been telling all our viewers not to share operational details, not to give out videos whenever there is a drill out. We cannot be helping Pakistani forces in any way. But what would your advice to the nation, to the forces and the government also be? At the end of the day, these are two nuclear-powered, nuclear-capable nations. And in Pakistan, you're not really dealing with the civilian government. The people who are in control are the army. Now, when we're dealing with this kind of a Pakistan, what kind of things do you need to be wary of? What do you feel are points of concern for us over the next few days? Your final thoughts.
Right. The first question was, you asked what should we be doing, as to the message to the nation. First thing is that I think I would appeal to the good sense of all citizens, all worthy members of our nation, to fulfill their obligations towards the Constitution, towards the nation, towards the Tiranga, and abide by the instructions given out both by the Honorable Prime Minister, Raksha Mantri, and when I say both, it's Raksha Mantri and the Ministry of Home Affairs. But certainly what the Honorable Prime Minister has said, what has come out, we must adhere to those aspects. The other thing is that at this point of time, we've got to ensure that the communities in the hinterland, they get together, they keep their eyes and ears open to ensure that no fifth columnist, no negative element, no spy, no agent of the Pakistan can operate in our areas and do something. And of course, the national morale is something which actually boosts the morale of a soldier. So if the nation is united, if the nation sends out the correct vibes and correct messages, and they're together, you will find that the morale of the soldiers will be up. That is very important. And getting onto the military side, I think we need to continue to safeguard, use our AD weapon systems to ensure we take on the missiles and take on their aerial weapons which they are using against us. Those have got to be ensured. And of course, on the line of control, we've got to remain absolutely poised to take on any actions of theirs. But here I would like to bring out a point again. I think it's high time to perhaps shift our gears from a more defensive, more reactive strategy to a more proactive strategy. I think it's high time. It will also be having a requisite deterrence on Pakistan, on the Pakistani chief. We cannot continue to rely on the strategy of ki wo hame marenge, hum unko marenge, and we keep talking of non-escalatory, profile. I think we got to stay away from this and tell them point blank, state our threshold of tolerance, that no more. You do this, we are going to hammer you very, very hard. I think that is what is required at this point of time. And of course, we got to remain on guard. Our people are geared up. The decisive operations, if you ask me frankly, have not yet started. But we should remain on guard. When I say decisive operations, you see, when you see the conventional war fighting, the first phase is, seizing initiative. We had seized the initiative with regard to the terrorist 9 camps. They have also seized this initiative. They have struck at various places, 15 places last night, and they drains 45 drones, which we brought down. They were trying to actually inflict, damage on us. We've taken them on. But the conventional war fighting, which is the decisive operation, when you in war fighting, after the seizing initiative, you have the decisive operations. Decisive operations have yet to start. For that, we got to remain on guard. That is the use of ground forces, their tanks, their mechanized infantry, along with the aerial strikes, their air power. At the moment, air power has not been used by both the sides. At the moment, ground forces have not come into play, barring, of course, the fire assaults which are taking place on the line of control. We got to remain guard for this, upping the ante by Pakistan with regard to decisive phase of war fighting.
All right. So you're saying that we need to be prepared for the decisive phase of war fighting and also be changing our approach when it comes to this continuous warfare with Pakistan. We need to be more proactive rather than reactive. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. It's a pleasure talking to you on this day. CNBC-TV18, of course, would like to inform our viewers that we are in a sensitive situation. It is of utmost importance that we bring to you only verified news. Several videos and pictures are being circulated on social media which are either fake or related to other past incidents. The fact-check unit of the Press Information Bureau has clarified on claims on social media. Santya Gora joins us now. Santya, over to you.
See, the misinformation warfare, a key tool of a non-kinetic attack against India, continues. The list of fake, old, unrelated videos, pictures and fake messages being circulated is getting longer every minute. The situation is so severe that, in fact, videos of video games are being circulated and passed off as attack or strike videos. Anticipating the use of misinformation in this social media era, at a time when tensions between India and Pakistan are escalating, the Indian government issued an advisory asking citizens to rely only on official Indian government handles. Let's take a look at some of these fake claims. The first one is a viral WhatsApp message is being circulated claiming ATMs will be closed in India for the next 2 to 3 days. The Indian government has busted this claim and clarified that this message is absolutely fake. ATMs will continue to operate as usual. Another fake claim is Pakistani social media handles claiming that a Sukhoi was shot down in Muzaffarabad, capturing an Indian pilot alive. The Indian government has clarified that this is not true at all. The said Sukhoi of the Indian Air Force is the one that crashed at Undre Vasti of Kulwadi village near the Pune-Ahmednagar highway in Maharashtra on 14th October. Next fake claim is that Pakistan launched a multiple launch rocket system attack on India. The Indian government has said that this claim is fake too, and this is as fake as it gets, because the video is from a video game and has been online for over 3 years. So clearly it has no connection to the current India-Pakistan situation. This fake claim, this one came this morning, and the claim is that Hazira port in Gujarat has been attacked. The Indian government has said that there is absolutely no truth to this claim. This one is an unrelated video confirmed to depict an oil tanker explosion. The video is dated 7th July 2021, a 4-year-old video. We have been highlighting this particular fake claim since morning, and we are repeating it considering its significance. The fake claim is that entry to airports across India has been banned. This claim is fake. The Indian government has made it clear that no such decision has been taken. Apart from these fake claims of a Fedayeen attack, there are other fake claims as well. Fake claims of a Fedayeen attack on an army base, or fake claim of a drone being shot down, and a fake claim of the Indian army attacking its own citizens are also being circulated. Authentic and verified information during such sensitive times becomes even more crucial, and that's why we at CNBC-TV18 are running only and only authentic and verified information.
All right, thank you, Sandhya, for that. Moving on, the State Bank of India to sell 13% stake in Yes Bank to Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation. The transaction will be worth 8,889 crore rupees at 21.50 rupees a share. Ritu Singh joins us now with the details. Ritu, are other banks looking to offload their shares as well?
Yes, they are indeed, and they've already made that disclosure. We're waiting for individual confirmations, but yes, one of Japan's largest bank, SMBC Sumitomo, is set to acquire 20% stake in Yes Bank, and it's bringing to a close really what has been more than a year-long process. Of course, the deal is still subject to all sorts of approvals, including from Reserve Bank of India and Competition Commission of India. For now, it's one of the largest investors in the bank, State Bank of India, which holds close to about 24% stake in Yes Bank, has agreed to sell 13.19% stake in Yes Bank to SMBC at rupees 21.50 per share. Keep in mind, all of these banks had acquired shares in Yes Bank as part of the restructuring plan back in 2020 for 10 rupees at that face value. So this is a 115% kind of ROI that the banks will get from this share sale. Even after selling 13.19%, SBI will continue to hold more than 10% stake in Yes Bank. Apart from this, a clutch of other banks that had stake in Yes Bank have also agreed to sell to SMBC. These include HDFC, ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, Federal Bank, Axis Bank, IDFC and Bandhan Bank, collectively selling 6.8%. So 13.19% from SBI and 6.8% from these other banks, taking the total stake that SMBC will hold in Yes Bank at about 20%. As of now, it is unlikely this will trigger an open offer, but the key remains getting that Reserve Bank of India approval, and that is the next step to watch out for. It is going to be a long-winded process. Also keep in mind, SMBC also has majority stake, 74% in Fullerton India as well. The question, of course, that everybody is now going to be asking is whether at some point in the future, SMBC will choose to merge the two entities, or will it be allowed to keep them separate? So lots of developments to watch out for, but now, yes, 20% stake in Yes Bank subject to approvals.
Right. Thank you, Ritu, for that. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. More news and updates continue right here on CNBC-TV18.